poised to become the richest nation on earth. 3 generations from the end of slavery, black Southerners are on the move in search of a better life. Between 1915 and 1930, 1.5 million head north. 1 in 7 of the entire African American population of the U.S. It's called the Great Migration.
The North represented the promised land to blacks in the South. If you can go north, you can work. If you can go north, you're not going to have to step off the curb when whites walk down the block. If you can go north, you can live in better neighborhoods and your children get a better education.
Many head for the Ford plant in Detroit. Ford is unique in paying black and white workers the same, a staggering $5 a day. 5 times more than a sharecropper's wage in Georgia. But equal pay doesn't mean equal treatment. Frank Haddis is an engineer at the plant.
You could have them on some dirty, rough job where there wouldn't be many whites to complain against them. But if you try to mix them in the assembly lines or any place else where whites predominated and hung their coats touching those of whites, you know, you couldn't do that.
Many white workers fear losing jobs to the new black workforce. Resentment is at the boiling point.
The denial of white privilege, clashing with the ambition of blacks looking for the promised land, inevitably led to an explosion.
The fuse will be lit in the summer of 1919. Chicago. There's no official segregation, but it's everywhere. Even on the beaches of Lake Michigan. Whites refuse to sell their houses to blacks. Homeowners in Hyde Park and Kenwood hold a meeting.
The Negro invasion of the district is the worst calamity that has struck the city.
Property owners should be notified to stand together block by block to prevent such invasion.
Sunday, July 27th, a day that will be etched in history. 17-year-old Eugene Williams skips church with some friends to go for a swim. John Harris is with them.
We could swim underwater and dive and come up. Swim, kick, dive, and play around.
A group of black men wander over to the white beach. They are not welcome.
Don't you come near me like that.
Eugene's raft is also drifting in that direction. It can only spell trouble. July 1919. On a beach in Chicago, tensions are rising. A white bather throws rocks. John Harris thinks it's a game.
He'd take a rock and throw it, and we'd dunk. One fellow would say, "Look out," and we would duck it.
But it's no game. This is racial tension transplanted to city life. By the time they get Eugene Williams back to the beach, he's dead. The police officer on duty is Daniel Callahan. He refuses to arrest the white man who threw the fatal rock. But arrests a black man instead. This is how the Chicago race riot of 1919 begins. Eight bloody days, 500 wounded, 38 died, 23 of them black. But the violence is just beginning. Riots erupt in 24 more cities across America. It's called the Red Summer.
Many found that the Promised Land was not the promise they thought. The North was better than the South, but there was not the land of milk and honey.
The divide separating black and white widens. Ghettos expand. Harlem in New York. Paradise Valley in Detroit. The Hill District in Pittsburgh. In Chicago, the South Side. Separate, but not equal. Black Americans are on the outside looking in. But black neighborhoods also mean black majorities. And in America, majority means power. In 1928, voters on Chicago's South Side elect Oscar DePriest, the first black congressman in the North. 80 years later, another Chicago resident becomes the nation's first black president.